because I can't remember anything. I have to use notes. Can you hear me, Velma? My Aunt Velma's way back there in the back. She traveled all the way from North Carolina to be here. My Aunt Wanda's all the way back there. She came from Kentucky. Of course, my family came from Maryland. And I want to thank everybody else that came here, all my dear friends from IPL that are my lifelong friends, and all of my family, all of Ed's family. I consider my family. I love all of you so very much that I can't tell you because I'll cry. So, I'm going to tell you something. Well, first of all, we're here to celebrate Ed's 70th birthday, my husband. And we've been together for 48 or 49 years. I think we've been married 47. Is that right? I never can remember. 47? Dee, how old are you? Like I said, we've been together a very long time. And yes, Ed's funny, and he's a jokester, and he can be very goofy. Cheryl calls him the goofball, which I think is very appropriate. But I think you guys have touched on it, so it's kind of messed my toast up, but I didn't know what you guys were going to do. I thought it was going to be just all real, goofy and fun. But I wanted to tell you a story that I thought you might not know. I wanted to tell you something about Ed that I thought you might not know, and that's his compassion, not only for his family, but for complete strangers. He is got the biggest heart, and he's got the most compassion of any person I've ever known in my life. And you guys know me. I try to know everybody. I try to be everybody's friend. So I want to tell you a story that happened about 4 years ago. Ed and I bought new bicycles because we wanted to go riding with our daughters, Dana and Dawn. So we went out and we got some new bicycles and we went riding, and Ed had a couple of love affairs with trees, like he does with rented snowmobiles. Right, Keith? And he also, the house jumped out in front of him one time, he said. He hit the house with one of our cars. The house we still live in because we've been there 40 years. So anyway, back to my story. I came home from work one day and Dawn had stopped by, which she does quite often. Our youngest daughter over there. And she said, well, what do you think about your dad giving his new bicycle away? And I said, what? Naturally, I knew nothing about it. And so I asked him, I said, Ed, what happened to your bicycle? He said, yeah. He said, well, I was just driving down Rockville Road. I saw this young fella pushing his bicycle. Apparently it was broken. I just stopped to see if I could help him. And he said I couldn't fix it. And he said, I asked the young man, I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to work. And Ed says, well, I'll tell you what, I'll take you to work, I'll get your bicycle fixed, and I'll bring it back. And Ed says, where do you work? He said, I work at Goodwill. So Ed took him to Goodwill, dropped him off. I'm not real sure if he went to Daryl's to try to get the bike fixed, because that's where he tries to send everybody to Daryl's alignment, his daughters and everybody. But I do know that he went home, he put his new bicycle in his van, he went back to Goodwill, and he made sure that young man got his bicycle. And that's what I wanted to tell you. It's his heart for strangers. It's easy for him to do everything for his family that he loves and adores, but this man here, he has a compassion for strangers like nobody I've ever known. He will give his time, his talents, and his money to anybody on any given day, and that's what I wanted to tell you. So here's to you, Ed. We all need to raise a glass and have a toast to the most compassionate man I know.